Hello and welcome to another X-Pro tutorial for SolidWorks modeling. In this tutorial, we will be making a 3D model of this steel frame, which is actually a stand that can be used for several things, and it can also be folded. But we are not going to make an assembly that can fold this stand. We are going to make it as a single part. So let's start by creating a new part. As always, I will be using millimeters for sketching. So we are going to start by making a sketch on the top plane. I'm going to make a center rectangle with this side being 450 millimeters. And the other one is 600 millimeters. Double-click the scroll button to zoom to everything that's in the modeling area. And let's convert these outer sides to construction geometry. I'm going to add another center line here through the middle. I'm going to add 2 points, one here and one here. We can see that these 2 points are symmetric over this center line. And I'm going to add a distance between these two. That's going to be 500. I'm going to change the background to plain white, just to make this a bit nicer to look at. To make these fill pipes, I'm going to use a 3D sketch. We haven't used this in the previous tutorial, so we're going to learn how to use them in this one. You can find the 3D sketch command in the Sketch tab, and in this drop-down menu you can find the 3D sketch. Most of the time, while using a 3D sketch, I only use lines because using some other commands is a bit tricky in the 3D sketch, so using lines is more than enough for making stuff you need. When you select the command, it will select the line. If, for example, I start drawing here, 2 arrows appear, which indicate the direction or the plane, basically, on which you are drawing. This is, as you can see in these small letters, it says XY plane, but the plane is imaginary. You don't have it. When I click the tab, these arrows change direction. And now I can draw in the YZ plane. I'll click the tab once more, and this is now that X plane. Another important thing to say is that 3D sketches don't require planes to start sketching like 2D sketches. So basically, you don't need any surface or plane. You can just start a command anywhere you want. For example, here, I can start drawing in any direction I want. Or here, it doesn't matter. I can just change the imaginary plane with that button on my keyboard. And that's it. And now we can start sketching our steel frame. I'm going to start the line command, and I'm going to start drawing from this point here. I want to go upwards. So this plane will work for me because I need to go upwards. This will be 100 millimeters. Then I need to go here. I'm still in the XY plane. And now I will press escape and add a center line from this point downwards and connect it to this line here. Now, I am going to say that this distance here is 100 millimeters. And let's draw another center line from this point to the left, which will be 150 millimeters. Now I'm going to draw another vertical line, which is 9 to 10 millimeters. Let's say that this is 850. We can continue using the line command. Let's use the center line and connect these two. I need to go to the right, so I'm going to press tab. I have the direction I wanted. I have to interrupt the command because it started drawing a tangent arc. Let's go to the right. Okay. Now I have to go backwards, so I will press tab. And there we go. We can interrupt it again, and I will use this normal line and draw the same thing on this side. We can connect it here. I will click on this line and say that it is along the y-axis and drag it downwards a bit. I have a long x-axis relation. Let's say that these two lines are parallel. These two also, and we can say that these two are equal. This sketch is fully defined so far. Now I will add another line anywhere in the modeling area. Make sure that it is along that axis. I will make its middle and the middle of this line coincident. Let's make it shorter, and I'll give it a dimension of 300 millimeters. I need to add 2 more lines that connect. There we go. I had to use these center lines to help me create this shape, since I'm in a 3D sketch. Now we have to add some fillets. Let's go to the Sketch tab and select the sketch fillet. First one I need is 150 millimeters. I'll put it in this point. Next one I need is 100 millimeters, and I need it in these 4 points here. We have drawn the first segment. We can exit the 3D sketch. And let's save this part I'll just name it stand. Now we have to draw the other segment, steel tube. So let's rotate the part of it like this, and let's start another 3D sketch. We're going to start by using a line command, and from these points we added, I'm going to start from this one upwards. The plane I'm using is XY. Let's make this 100 millimeters. Now, I will add a center line from this point and connect it to this line here. It doesn't matter where, you just have to connect it. Let's say that this line is along Y-axis. This line will be 750 millimeters long. Also make this sketch fully defined, because you can see I can move this left or right. I will make this point and this point along X-axis. Now it is fully defined. Let's continue drawing. I will use another center line. Let's start from this point to the right. I want to go left now, so I will press Tab. This is along Z-axis. Let's return along the X-axis. We can see that I didn't connect this here, so I'll just drag it upwards and disconnect it now. These two should be equal. Now let's continue with the line command. Basically, I have to draw the same thing on this side. Let's make sure that we're using the correct plane. So I'll need this one downwards, and I need to connect this to this point here. This one is supposed to be along Y-axis. And the same as this line here, let's see what else we can do. I can move this, and let's say that these two lines are parallel. These lines that are black are fully defined. And now we just have to add another dimension to fully define this. Let's add a smart dimension from here to here, for example, to this line. Let's make it 850 millimeters. So far, the sketch is fully defined, and I need to add something similar here. Let's again add a line. Let's draw along Z-axis. Make this middle and this middle coincident. Let's add a dimension here, which is 250 millimeters. Now we can connect these two and these. It looks good. Now we just have to add some fillets. All of them will be 100 millimeters in diameter. Let's add them here. Also, one over here. Let's confirm. I can exit this sketch and save this. So now we have created the 3D sketches that basically look like the tubes. We just have to add a 3D dimension to make them look like tubes. The way we can do that is either using developments, which we will cover in the next tutorials, or we can use the Swept Boss feature. In this tutorial, we will use Swept Boss. I will activate this just so you can see it. Needs a sketch profile, and it needs a bath. So we have the path. Actually, we have two of them, and we need a profile. So we basically need a cross-section of a tube. Let's go to the top plane and make a sketch. I'll look from below to this sketch, and let's make a sketch in this point where the path begins. You have to do it here. Let's draw a circle, which is 20 millimeters in diameter. Let's offset it inwards by 1.5 millimeters. Let's just say reverse. Now we have to exit the sketch. Let's activate the feature Swept Boss. So for the profile, we will select this sketch here. And for the path, we will select this 3D sketch here. As you can see, it's making a 3D cube. Let's confirm this command. And now we have to do the same thing for the other one. Another sketch on the top plane. Let's make a circle where the path begins 20 millimeters, and let's offset it inwards by 1.5 millimeters. Let's activate the Swept Boss command. So for the profile, it's like this sketch, and automatically it will change to the path. Let's select this 3D sketch. And there we go. This looks quite good so far. Now we have to add these small feet to this steel frame. The way we can do that is by using Revolve Boss. But for this, I need planes that are located here and here. Let's make one by dragging the front plane while holding Control. Let's connect it to this point here. Right-click to confirm the command. We can hide this initial sketch. Let's make this 3D sketch visible. Let's activate Sketch on this plane. We can draw a line like this. I will be able to add another center line. Let's say this is 10 millimeters. Let's add some smart dimensions. This will be 25, and this here can be 40. Let's add a 3-point arc from this point to this point and make the arc tangent to this center line. Now, We can use the revolve function for axis of revolution. We will use this line here and make sure that merge results is unchecked. We don't want this bowl connected to the steel frame. It has to be a separate part. Let's confirm the command. This looks good. I can hide this plane and this sketch too. Let's unhide or show this other 3D sketch. Again, I have to make a new plane, so hold Control, drag the front plane, and it will connect it to this point here. Right-click to confirm the command. Let's make a sketch on plane 2, so we have to make the same sketch we did previously. I can draw a standard line and convert it to construction geometry. Let's add some dimensions, 40 here, and add a 3-point arc here, which will be tangent to this line. Again, let's use the revolve boss. By default, it uses the center line as axis of revolution, but we don't want that. Let's just delete this and select this vertical line here. Let's go to the edit feature. I didn't uncheck this, so make sure you do this. Let's hide this plane and this sketch here. Now, when you open this drop-down menu, you can find that we have 4 bodies. First one is this tube, second one is this one. And we have balls that are used for feet of this. Now we need these balls on the other side. We can simply mirror these 2 features. So let's click on Mirror Features. For mirror face or plane, it will select the front plane. And for features to mirror, let's select Revolve 1 and Revolve 2. Let's save the part. Now I want to drill 3 holes through these tubes. Let's unhide these 2 3D sketches. Let's make a sketch on the front plane. Hold and draw a circle in the cross-section of these 2 lines. So you see that I have these 2 relations. Let's make it 10 millimeters in diameter. And I will add 2 more, 1 on this line and 1 on this line. I can say that these 2 points are horizontal and these 3 circles are equal. Let's add another smaller dimension here, which is 120 millimeters. Let's just extrude these sketches. So let's go to Features, Extrude, Cut, Through All. Now we have the holes. Next thing, I need to make a plane that will be somewhere around here. So in the same plane as these 2 points here, the way I can do it is by dragging the top plane upwards and simply connecting it to this point, for example. This is the plane I wanted. Let's confirm it. Let's make a sketch on this plane. And I will firstly make a center line connecting these 2 points here and look normal to the sketch. I will make center rectangle from the middle of the central line. I'd say 425. SolidWorks will make these 2 lines equal, as you can see. It automatically added the relation, but it didn't add 2 dimensions. I will add a sketch filler and a 50 millimeter radius to these 4 points. Now let's offset these inwards for 3 millimeters. We can click reverse and that's it. We can extrude this now using Extrude Boss and make it 25 millimeters. I can now hide this plane here. I will start another sketch on the front plane. And when I look at it, I cannot see this part from the tube. So the way I can hide them is just by hovering over the tube and clicking Tab. And there we go. I will do the same thing here. I can hide these sketches so that they are not bothering me. And now I have a clear view of the part I want to cut. Let's, for example, convert these 2 sketches by going to the Sketch tab, Convert Entities, and now I will draw a shape like this. This line is 15 millimeters. This one here, 14, and the angle here will be 45 degrees. Also, these 2 should be parallel. And let's add a sketch fillet of 10 millimeters here. And here. Trim this out. Let's just keep the trim and these as construction geometry. Cut it here, and now let's cut these 2 contours. So go to Features, Extrude, Cut. Let's select up the surface. For that surface, I will select this one here. And for direction 2, let's select this surface here. This means that this Extrude Cut feature will cut everything from this plane up to this surface and to this surface. Now I have to bring back the tubes. They are here in the Solid Bodies drop-down menu. You can see that this box is not as blue as the ones here. So let's click on these 2 and select Show. Now, let's add some steel rods. This will connect these 3 parts. We can simply offset this circle here, 1 millimeter inwards, and now, go to the Features Extrude boss. I can say midplane is 425. This is not long enough though, so let's increase it. This looks good. And I need another one through these holes here. Again, from Plane Sketch, I can offset this circle inwards by 1 millimeter. And let's go to the Features Extrude boss. And this one can be a bit shorter. This looks good. And we can add a material. Let's first hide this sketch here. Now click Space, Isometric View. Finally, I can close these drop-down menu, and let's add a material here in the design tree. Right-click on Material Edit, and there we go. This looks good, and I hope you liked this tutorial. See you in the next one.